All right, let's come back to the text first. Okay. Okay, now today we come to this topic of this after the category of the consciousness that we have addressed last time, and then we come to this the 6 causes, the 5 fruits, and the 4 conditions. Okay. And when we start to, but of course in certain traditions, they have several different lists of what is the cause and what the conditions and what is the cause and the conditions. Okay. Sometimes, for example, like in anyone, I mean, because some people hire maybe the most, they are what we call it. You know, when you say the cause and conditions, certainly is one of the very big topic in Buddhism, and is and sometimes even these what they call this the heretic teachings. In other words, means the teachers that those who are not belong to the Buddhisms will claim that, or would accuse that actually Buddhism is the teachings of the cause and conditions school. Okay. So in other words, mean these for in India non-Buddhist those who are not belong to the Buddhism would say that the Buddhism is the school of the cause and conditions. Especially it's that's why they call that as a Patitya Samuppada Vada, means those who are upholding the cause and conditions. Okay. And or maybe you can say that the theory of cause and condition in Buddhism is one of the unique or one of the simple for Buddhism. Okay, and maybe I think the best to ask some of you first. Anyone can tell me what does a cause and condition mean in Buddhism? Well, what do you understand? What is a cause and condition?
The suffering is a cause of suffering.
Dukkha. Yeah, but you were talking about addressing the teachings about the suffering, I mean the dukkha, right? You don't have to look at the book, it's not in the book there. I want to know in general, what is the cause and conditions? And then, I mean, when you study Buddhism, of course, okay, maybe the best to say, when you study Buddhism, you will study several things, right? When you come to, there were certain things that you need to know when you learn Buddhism, or when it's not like, I mean, there's a problem of when you learn something like theology. For example, you learn Christianity, or if you learn Islamic. When you learn Buddhism, you definitely know there was something about the Buddha, right? You definitely who is the founder of the Buddhism. And then you definitely will know about, there's a notion of the community. And then this kind of notion of community is just like Catholicism too, right? I mean, for example, like that. And those are the something that you know about Buddhism, and maybe companies share to others. And but beside that, what you have to think about Buddhism?
It's a form of truth. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I mean, then you will know that when you study Buddhism, you have something the least called the Four Noble Truths, right? And what else? Yeah, you just say that. Then there's a cause and conditions, and what else?
How to use faith?
No, you don't say how to use the faith. I mean, of course, when you study Christianity and everything, that the faith is one of the very important issue. You know, we don't say how to use the faith. Then that's something that the least that you have to know about Buddhism, right? You never thought about this.
So what's the question again?
No, you have to know that, let's say, what is the difference between Buddhism and the other religions when you study?
But your question original was causes.
No, it was original question, but then I find that all of you are sleeping already.
I was thinking about that question.
No. I think that's very, then I knew that there was a problem of what, because, and it's also important when you have to know, just like when people see a Buddhist, right?
Well, I answered the first question. I think it's the view, and then the Buddhism really is to purify your mind. To me, basically, the cause and condition. Well, yeah, wrong view.
Cause and condition is wrong view.
Right.
Because I think he tries to say because the wrong view, that's the reason, then you cause
Because
a lot
you have a lot of condition. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's one another thing. I want to drop that topic for the moment. I think one of the important topic is that you have to know, let's say when the people ask you, that's a problem mostly when the people ask you a question like, what is it about Buddhism? People only can answer Amitabha Buddha. That's in China especially. Okay, or the Bodhisattva, right? And that's how there's a kind of general, so Chinese for sure, is all they will say, to study Buddhism, or in other words, to believe in Buddhism means Amitabha Buddha and all the Bodhisattva, right? But then also maybe some people give you answer meaning Zen, or just Zazen, you sit and meditate, right?
Try to seek.
So, and that means Zazen, that means you sit in and meditate. But I'm saying this question like if there's a person who study, who is a college student, and you want to know, what do you study in Buddhism? What is it about? What's the content of Buddhism?
So you're asking about what we have learned or your personal experience?
No, your personal experience. It doesn't matter. It's not actually personal. It's like, when everybody have a presume that when you are be a Muslim, okay, they know what you would do and how much faith you have to put to the Buddha, to the Allah is very important, right? And then and they have to do fasting, right? Okay, and everybody know there was something called Quran, right? So
you mean like a goal? So our goal is the end of suffering, nirvana, achieving that's our main goal. And also to do that, you need to sort of develop bhavana. So you have to do the meditation. You have to kind of develop wisdom. And you establish. Okay,
that's maybe something to do with that too. Then that means you're talking about Buddhism address. There's importance of the precepts or the virtue. Important of the meditation, important of the wisdom, right? Yeah, that's included. And anything else?
We try to seek solution and try to stay on the retreat.
No, that's the daily life. I want to know what is the Buddhist text if the people ask you.
I want you to be happy and free.
What we learned so far?
No, actually, it might be true to be happy is true, but it's not really very clear in the Buddhist text. Even though the Buddhism say, like in a certain one of two texts say about this, there's the happiness, and there's a definition, different view from happiness from the other, what we call the heretic teachers, and then what is meant by the Buddha teachings. Yeah. What do you want to say, Stephen?
I was going to say that it seems like a big point is the difference between perception and reality. That the way we perceive things is one way, but the way things really are is different. And so because we fundamentally look at things the wrong way, it causes us a lot of problems. And so one of the pursuits is to try to figure out the true nature of reality.
So in other words, if people ask you what do you study, what kind of thing do you study in Buddhism, and you would say is highly to do with that, the perception issue, whether it's a wrong view, it's kind of like about the perception issues, right? But that's
the same.
No.
You say wisdom, right? You also say wisdom. Then the other one is compassion. There's people talking about, you have the golden mind, not just ending your own suffering, but others' suffering. So.
Okay, now just a moment. We must have a list, okay? Now, that's the three virtue, like I don't know what's that called already. Yeah, I know. It's three. I think it's called three learning. The three learning, okay. Sila Samadhi Panya, and then there's about the perception, and then there's about the bodhicitta, and what else?
Five aggregates.
Huh? What do you say?
Five aggregates.
Yeah, five aggregates.
Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path.
Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, yes. And
No, I said before, Four Noble Truths.
Yeah, okay. Right, Four Noble, and what else?
Satipatthana, Vipassana.
Okay. So the fourth, what do you call Satipatthana means four establishment of mindfulness, and then also you have the topic of the so-called insight, okay, meditation or insight. Anything else?
Someone has asked me that in the past, and I say for me, it's trying to find, for me, the truth, the meaning of life.
Yeah, but that's unfortunately because that way to find the truth or the meaning of the life certainly is that everybody will answer the same thing we do this almost like saying the same thing in different religion, right? So this is good. It's put it this way, lots of people, karma is definitely one of the big topic. So and what is the cosmological world in the Buddhist perspective is one of the big topic too, right? I want to say this because if you are, imagine that, I'm sure some of you are, you come from a different religion. Imagine you never know Buddhism, okay? And then, of course, what do you presume with the Buddhist people? Generally, they think they are. But it's true also, actually, maybe more than 90% of the Buddhist people are like that. I like what they think. But if you look at I'm talking about if you're a college student, I'm not talking about you're just normal folk, you're just a farmer.
Non-theistic. We don't believe in the figure Godhead that controls things.
No, they don't know that. They don't think that.
That is non-theistic.
No, that's you. But I'm talking about like a college guy.
Oh, you mean what they have in conception, what they believe with Buddhism?
No, they do definitely think that if the answer they ask you is for example, I met people who ask me questions, and they presume that we believe the Buddha is a god, right? But then some people
do.
And they think that, and then some they knew that it's not, but then they try to tell you down, our God is only the God, and your Buddha is just only a teacher. They also can tell this thing. So they think that actually Buddhism is all about this subject, you know what I'm saying? And then the Buddha is just a teacher, maybe Buddha gives you some teachings, and but actually people hardly realize that the Buddhism when you study Buddhism, that you study, like one issue is about the perception issues. And they find very surprised Buddhism talk about this kind of thing, right? Especially actually there were several texts addressed to this issue, not even in early Buddhist text, but in the Mahayana text there were whole text was addressing the perception problem, okay? And then also if you say, Buddhism also talk about the dependent arising, they don't even know what it is at all. They think you're crazy, right? But don't you talk about Buddha and save you and pray and mantra, right? That's what they think about Buddhism is about, right? Am I right?
That's one branch of Buddhism.
You have to know that when you're here now in the class, your mind can never be think that way, same way again, okay? So, but of course you can have a question, so you cannot think that, and otherwise while you're here you don't have to come for the class. Because it's so simple, if that is the case, then our Buddhist text might be just ask you to pray to the Buddha, and then you ask you if you have no children, if you have no money, right? And then it's not, because when you come in the class, you know then what is really the content of Buddhism, that's why you need to make sure, that's why I think it's an important question to ask. And what else? I think some people say that we need to refrain. Yeah. Yeah, like Four Noble Truths we mentioned, and 37 factors of enlightenment, right?
3 characteristics to Ganesha.
Yeah, that is also one about the 3 characteristics to the anicca and anatta. Now you have Yeah, he mentioned already 4 Noble Truths. No, Noble Eightfold Path. Anything? Yeah, we also say dependent arising, but you can say that there's a 12th link of it, yeah.
Brahma Viharas?
That is also one. Yeah, they have the subject also, Brahma Vihara. 5 aggregate, somebody said that, and something else didn't say. There were 2 more, I'm waiting. Huh? Yeah, or samsara also. Yeah, samsara. the topic about the samsara, I mean the reincarnations, I mean the born again and again. I'm waiting for 2 more.
2 more? We said
Karma we mentioned already. 2 more mean because somebody talk about 5 aggregates, but there's still 2 things. You always go with the 5
The
aggregates.
body, rupa, form,
破业苦
Huh?
feeling.
什么？我刚才听到有人说，惑业 is mean yeah, okay, that's about when you're deluded, okay, and the karma. No, I because usually somebody forget when you talk about 5 aggregates, there were 2 things always go with the 5 aggregates. Yeah, it's also because if you talk about 5 aggregates, it's just only that the whole and how Buddhism understands the persons, right? The person who is the whole body, and now divided into 5 parts to describe a person is about. But then you also have to talk about the function of the persons, right? And then you describe that mostly the function of the persons. In other words, I mean the eyes see the thing, the object, you know. And then also you have to talk about not only just the function, but the recognizing of the persons. Like you must also have the eye consciousness and so on. So that is also the topic of Buddhism, right? That now that's the reason why people cannot make the connection. For example, when you read this what they call this Heart Sutra, the Heart Sutra is not. But normally people take the Heart Sutra almost like a mantra, right? Right? Actually, the Heart Sutra or the content of Heart Sutra is about. You can find all the topics in Heart Sutra. And then there are a few things some people forget, especially in Mahayana. Highly emphasizes on emptiness is also one, right? And then the other topic which people didn't say, the Nibbana.
I said Nibbana.
Okay, you did say that. Okay, right.
That was the first thing.
So and then the topic of Nirvana. Okay. So and then those are the are the main thing. All right. Among this kind of main topic, of course, then you need to think the differences between this topic to the Indian religion. Of course, that's have to do if you really study Indian religion, you know. So the Indian religion talks suffering too. Okay, you have to understand. The Indian religion also talk about Nibbana also, although the definition of Nibbana is different. And then in Indian religion also talk about the reincarnation, samsara. Okay, even though there's a long history to say about whether they're influenced by Buddhism or what. That's not the topic we're going to address here. But for sure they talk about those things. Even after the Buddha passed away a few hundred years, Indian religion have all these subjects. Indian religion also talk about meditation. Okay. Also talk about the samadhi. And then also, what else?
They say Brahmavihara was included in Jainism as well, and Hinduism.
They all include, but it's not as systematic as a Buddhism. But as I said, they talk about.
It's exclusively Buddhist.
So and then Indian religion also talk what else? They also talk about they also talk about these aggregates. They not necessarily divide into 5, but they talk about the aggregates. Okay.
But they did not emphasize on the subject of equality.
Equality.
Yeah, the high class, upper class, the Brahmin.
Caste system.
What does it mean by the equality here?
Caste.
Caste system.
They did not talk about caste system?
No.
Even Buddhism?
Buddhism just try to
promote this equality. Okay. Buddhism try to promote the equality. Certainly is one of the. You could look at it as like a social movement. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And but in Indian religion, do talk about a caste system. Okay, address a caste system. Yeah, Buddhism also talk about caste system, but in a different approach, right? Yeah, and but what actually, as I just want to say, this is how. Now you're in America, and American people were very hard to imagine what the Buddhism learning. Okay, they would think that it's like Christian. You might be go to baptized, you go to Buddhist temple as like and go to church, and then you might be go to the Buddhist temple on every Sunday, and then they also believe that if you're a very good practitioner, you might be do fasting, right? Right, and of course even now Buddhists, some people do fasting too, but I know. It never really a big deal in Buddhism, okay. And they will do fasting like if you're pure Christian or pure, and Jewish. And then, of course, then they think that this is how they think what the Buddhist. But you have to understand it's different. But in comparing to the Indian, then, but don't forget, because the Buddhism definitely come from the area, right? So in comparing to the India, so even though the arrangement, I mean, there are some elements are different, but there are lots of similarities there. As I say, the karma is there. And I still remember in earlier time when we studied Buddhism, we have one confusion is that, I mean, people, especially people who are not very well known about Buddhist teachings, we always get confused with the teaching of the Jainism. You just mentioned Jainism, and then the teaching of Jainism and the teaching of the Buddhism. And lots of people find that the Jainism and Buddhism are very similar, okay? But of course I don't agree, but I mean, if we are not very well knowing it. Okay, and of course, and also people think about, I mean, in America or in general, people who do not know Buddhism or who are not from India, they also think that the Buddhism talk about mantra, but actually that's also commonly shared in India, okay? Indian always with the mantra. Everything is mantra. This is a mantra, that's mantra. Even you go to toilet, you have a mantra also. And it's true, Indians have this kind of tradition. If you are really a very devoted Hindu, you know, you have to do that too. So, but you have to understand that the Buddhist teaching, because I want to put this topic because I want to say, however, one thing that Indian religion don't have, what they definitely find, they don't have this like a big theory, is what they call the cause and condition. They believe in the reincarnation, they believe in karma, means they will talk about the good thing and the bad thing, right? But they don't really formulate the theory called the so-called the 12th link of the, you know, this Paticca cause and condition. They do talk about the cause and the result, okay? The cause and effect, but no cause and condition and then effect, okay? And then suddenly they don't have any theory that's similar to this, like what we call this the cause and then the condition, as what we call the Paticca Samuppada, okay?
I don't know if it's correct or not. Based on my understanding, they try to connect to the divine. Like in the first
Atman.
Of course, because they believe in
So the self is a very different idea, because the self joins the Atman. That's the ultimate reality for Hindus to do that. But in Buddhism, we don't have that.
Yeah, we don't believe in self.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So anatta is another huge revolutionary concept in Buddhism that is very different.
No, that's why I say they
Other
talk about the
religions.
cause and the result. They don't talk about the condition.
But actually, because before, long time ago, I follow a yogi master. During the meditation, I feel really connected to the divine energy. It's loving, it's loving kindness. But it's different from.
No, I know what you mean. I know that. Yeah, I know a lot of the actually Hindu sadhu. I know that. Yeah, it's that's an Indian religion, because the Indian believe in there's a first cause. That means that they've been created by the God, you know, and then they wanted to, through their meditation, it's all back to the God, you know. So, and they have that's I know. But what I want to say is that's why I want to emphasize one thing that for you know understand is that in Indian, at least I'm not talking about the modern. Don't forget, even the modern, lots of people have adopted many Buddhist system in there. Right? I'm saying that in precisely in the Indian text, okay. And this is also actually even in Indian text for the late century, like 6th or 7th century, because there was a time in Indian religion become very strong in their in their system, in their what we call catechism. In our language called catechism. In the whole theory, they become very strong already. Even actually much stronger than the Buddhism. So and it's also said in the history. That's why even during the debate later on, about 8th century, I think, or maybe from 11th century, I think it's that for sure from 12th century, Buddhism, the debate all lost to in Indian religion. So it's true or not, I don't know, but that's definitely there's a kind of record. And from I think it's from 8th century, they started the Buddhism debate with the Indians and so-called Indian local religions, and they lost the debate. Even though we are Buddhists here, we always want to hear that we always win the debate. That was earlier time, but not in the later time. Okay.
Lost the power.
And I mean that of course have a lot of reason. That's not necessarily because of the the Buddhism problem is that definitely there were lots of things about the Buddhism have so confused already, so mixed up already, I guess. But anyway, those are the other things. But I want to say that in those religions, what they trying to say that they wanted to regard Buddhism as part of the Hindu, okay, nowadays so-called, or part of the religion of them, and they also they knew very well. I mean, I'm not talking about modern time. Modern they have no idea at all, but because Buddhism is completely long gone in India, so they have the idea is only because if you go to academic, but it's not in the whole India now. But I want to say that in old day, they understand that Buddhism are different, but they still wanted to try this a way that to put the Buddha, because nobody can deny the power of the Buddha, okay? Nobody can deny in Indian history, nobody can deny the power of Buddha because lots of the king after the Buddha become the patronage of the Buddhism, right? And then, and if they want to rule out those kings, their history also is not very nice too, because those kings are very powerful kings, right? They are not like a
King Ashoka.
Yeah, like for example, like King Ashoka as an example, they cannot. There's nobody can deny that King Ashoka was a Buddhist, and so on, right? So but that's why in order to have saved their faith, it's much easier to say Buddha is just one of their god, and much easier to say that Buddhism is just one a little branch of our Indian religion, So, and this is an important thing that we have to understand. But I want to say back here is actually they also, according to this, when you study in scholarly, so that's the heretic, what we call not belong to Buddhism, so that non-Buddhist teachings, and then they would defend and they would say that Buddhism is the cause and effect theory talker, okay? Which is they don't, I don't mean that they don't talk about cause and effect, they don't take it this way. Because they think that, of course, you will know it later, because to Buddhism, only when you really understand what is been the cause and condition and effect, you would completely cut off the attachment to there's a creator God, okay? If you don't understand that theory, you might still believe that there's a creator God, who actually, who actually control your mind. I won't say control, who actually design your life, So, but when you look at the cause and effect theory, then you find that your life was not designed by someone else. But you could say if there's somebody who decided, it's that it's been designed by the cause and effect. If that's why this is a theory is not definitely been adopted by in India in general. Okay. All right. Besides this, I will move on this. I want to also ask. So, and how do you know when someone is not a Buddhist? In theory, I'm not saying a Buddhist person. What is the difference between, let's say, if I was talking to a friend, or he say he's also believe in Buddhism, or he doesn't. Other friends say he doesn't believe in Buddhism.
Well, people doesn't believe karma.
Yeah, doesn't believe in karma. Let me see. Doesn't believe in karma. Definitely, yeah. Okay, I guess. But nowadays, it's still arguable. But okay, yeah. And
there's a pretty in America. There's a pretty influential book called Buddhism Without Beliefs.
Yeah, I know, but that's why they don't believe in karma.
But
yeah.
they can be, like Buddhist atheists. So they would claim to be Buddhists without having any belief in future lives, past lives, karma, nirvana, anything.
Yeah, they just. So what they like is what is it then?
How they define the value. Let's say the difference between the real believer and the others non-believers. How they treat, how they solve the problem that they faced.
Wouldn't it be perception though? In terms of what they perceive is correct?
No, I mean, no, of course everybody, when they believe something, they believe their perception is correct.
That's not a fair question, because that...
No, I want to... No, it is. No.
Because I cannot make a judgment if somebody's Buddhist or not. I mean, that's their... my understanding is that I don't sort of, who am I to kind of judge somebody who is and does not?
No, I know maybe.
It's like judging somebody who's Christian or.
No, you do. Of course, if you say I'm a Christian and then you say, but I don't believe in God and I don't believe in Jesus, do you think I can be a Christian?
If they say they are, I don't know. I mean, who am I to question that?
But it does seem like
So
a
it would be
dangerous thing to go around
Yeah.
assessing.
Yeah,
people's
that's what I
views.
mean. I mean, I think.
No, I don't mean to assess this because I want to say this is people sometimes get confused. But that has to do with when you study Buddhist history, there was a time that the Buddhism definitely have split up in different opinions. But in those opinions, they still include them as a Buddhist school, a legitimate one. And some definitely is not Buddhism. So, and they don't bother even talk to them. I mean, to discuss about what is really the Buddha teaching is about, right?
Then you would
I mean,
say-
that definitely have a rudiment factors there. Like you say, I guess if it back to like after the Buddha passed away a few hundred years, and the people if they say that I don't believe in karma, they definitely not include them as a Buddhist school. That's I'm saying this way, yeah. But
Cause and effect.
huh?
Cause and effect. If you don't believe in cause.
Yeah, that's one thing. And then what else?
People believe.
Huh?
Grasping.
No, that's even Indian belief in grasping create a problem.
About how do you tell the Buddhist or not? They are Buddhist or not?
No. I don't mean this. That's why I say you still get confused. I think you have to be very careful. It's not about faith. I'm not talking about faith now.
People have been.
No, maybe, okay. Okay, don't discuss among yourself. If you have a question, raise your hands, okay? Yes.
So the people believe there's a God, there's an eternal world. When you die, you go there, and that's it forever.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah, but then the Buddhism do not. If anyone they say, my belief is I'm talking about when even after the Buddha passed away. If any school in the Buddhism say that we believe that somebody died and they will go to the heaven and they can stay there eternally, can you consider them as a Buddhism?
right. That's it.
You don't, right? That's why I say you don't have to be really. You don't have to discuss already. You are not Buddhism. Even Buddhism, you may have many discussions within, but that is not because that's
Pure
not the
Land is
Buddhism. What?
Pure Land is not Buddhism. If you say that.
Those are fighting words.
I don't know.
Do you know what is Pure Land?
I mean, my understanding is that they believe in, I don't know what Amitabha is anyway, but they believe in Amitabha and then they go to heaven and they get awakened by doing good merits without meditation, just chanting. So to me, that's not Buddhism, but I cannot say that's not Buddhism. That's my opinion, but I cannot say that's not Buddhism. Or I can say maybe Zen school is not Buddhism because they take out all these Brahma Viharas and they just have certain things. So it's half Buddhism and half is not. So I don't, who am I to say that? I cannot judge. I mean, there's got to be some definition and maybe a consensus, but it's really difficult, I think, to kind of, because there's so many different branches in the school, such a long history.
Yeah, but then how these branches think that they are Buddhism?
You know, I mean, I'm sure we can define, no, but we can define what, right now, we talk about what a Buddhist is, but I think that could be very dangerous in terms of.
No. The question is, what is not Buddhism, right? You
Yeah.
say Pure Land is not, and why?
To
My
me,
question is
according to my understanding, it's not.
why?
Because it's so off from the original teachings of Buddha in terms of meditation.
And one of our
Not
online
sure.
friends says about middle path. You see?
Yeah, middle path. Yeah, they stated.
But who am I to just say that? I'm just saying an honest opinion about it. But I've done Pure Land retreat, and I wanted to understand.
That's going to the argument. That's not a question before. We just want to say, what is not Buddhism? Because that's argument, right? So it's yes and no, but answer.
But generally, put it this way: if you talk about dependent arising, okay, if you believe in a dependent arising, almost people think that. I mean, I'm talking about really like, but they presume that you definitely is a Buddhism, okay, right?
But how many people understand?
No, this is not about understanding. It is not our question. That means that you know there are certain facts. If you say that in Buddhism, no, not only karma. I say Indians share the karma. So, but that's why I say that you have to be careful about this karma word.
But I thought ours
No.
was more action rather
No,
than...
that's another detail. We don't need to.
Fatalistic
I want to
reality.
say when you say that you believe in karma, not necessarily because you believe in karma, you're Buddhist. You can be Hindu. I said that already.
But there are differences in terms of understanding.
Of
karma.
course they're different, but I mean,
Buddhist is very different than Hindu karma tradition.
if it's the same, then why there's a Buddhism and Hindu? I know that. I'm just saying that when you only say that you believe in there are many gods, that's Buddhism. No, Hindu also believe that. The Greek people also believe that. I mean, before the Christian came in. No, I mean, I'm just saying this. What is the unique thing that you definitely almost clear is?
It's Buddhist.
Yeah. This is the thing where you have to make sure about. You cannot be study Buddhism. You don't know that. So the dependent arising is one, and yes.
So the opposite of what is Buddhism, person has to believe in the Four Noble Truths, in enlightenment, in karma, independent arising, cause, condition, and effect.
No.
If they don't believe it, then...
No, I said that already. Even the enlightenment, the Nibbana also, the Hindu also believe that. So sometimes that is also not clear. I said that also. I did say, are you listening? I did say that in Indian also believe those things, so some of them, but something don't necessarily share with the even Indian. I said that, So the Four Noble Truths, of course, is not. I mean, as a term, that terminology definitely is not shared. Yeah, you want to say something?
As something, based on their opinion, I think essential part is ability to make reflection.
No, I mean that definitely is not like that. No, it won't be. And all religion would believe they have the do reflection. No, yes.
Practicing compassion and not harming.
Yeah, the not harming also in Indian they do have that too.
Ahimsa.
Yeah, ahimsa.
Our online friend says, without middle path, can we get liberated?
Yeah, of course. That's another question. Of course, in Buddhism say no, you must have a middle path to get liberated. That's quick. Yes.
One thing Buddha differed from Hinduism was no self.
Yeah, that I was waiting for a long time. Come on. But I just asked a question again. My question before was what is the distinction in Buddhism, right? And then now I was saying that what is really different from Indian.
We already said that in the Hinduism, you join the Atma.
It is very clear if you believe that I have an Atma, you definitely is not Buddhist school.
Yes.
So, right, it's 100% clear then. And also, even though some of the Buddhist theory believe in Atma, yes.
No self, just not you know no self. The two word you understand no self. So you need to develop ability to understand what's no self.
I mean, I'm sorry, we are not talking those topics. You still didn't get it.
No, it's not. I feel that it's a process. From my experience as a Buddhist, it's experiencing, it's reflecting.
I'm not talking about experiencing. We are not practicing. We are not talking practice here. I'm saying that in Indian, when they say the self, means there's Atma, there's a soul, there's Atma who been created by the God, and so on.
But the knowledge is not just knowledge. It's how you understand this in your life.
Do you think that you are really answering my question, or you are talking something? No. Okay. You can ask them. None of people believe you're answering my question. My question is just what's the distinction from what is the distinct teachings from the Buddhist from the general religion in India? It's the non-self is the one, and then the dependent arising is the one. That's basically that's it.
So
Okay.
Hindu doesn't talk about dependent arising as well?
At least they don't. I don't mean that they don't talk. Mean they do talk about ignorance is also the cause for many things and so, but they don't formulate these kind of teachings. Okay. That in the per se term, and because they still have to believe that the God is still decide their life.
Okay.
So somehow,
They have many gods, but they do meditation. They have
No, for many gods, Buddhism also taught many gods. So that's why I say this is no any different between the that. But of course, how do we explain the many gods is different from Hindu and Buddhism, of course. But But the whole Buddhism and the Indian, we are talking about, you don't forget, because religion original Buddhism from in that area, the whole debate is all this debate, okay? Mainly about the debate of the self and no self between these two religions. And then the main debate is also the debate of course the debate is not as simple as you think. So it's not, they can formulate a whole book to debate about the self and no self theory. Okay, it's, and then the debate is, and the Buddhism standpoint, basically the debate is based on highly is the dependent arising. And then of course, then later on they shift it to some other thing also. And the Hindu, they know very well, that might be, if they have, they themselves, if they trap into dependent arising, they will be trapped there. So that's why they pull up themselves from only debate to the perception problem. Because when you only can talk about to the perception problem, you can hint that even the people who perceive the thing itself is a self, right? So that's a problem of the Indian religion when it become Mahayana, and they've been trapped that part also. So let you to think about that. So, and that's also reason why in the Janakirti and all this also still, when Janakirti write the book, Prasannapada, for example, the first chapter was all dependent arising. Because he knew very well, if you don't have the dependent arising, and then, because he was in the time of debate already, that the Indian religion are so forced, and they have formulated so many theory, and they are no more just like a folk religion. They must formulate a school already, and that's the time. That's the reason why. And then, and in other words, what I want to say, even without the dependent arising, there's no way you can explain what is the no self according to the Buddhist theory. But if you just only talk a perception per se, or five aggregates or what, and then it could be create some other problem. Perhaps that was the reason the dependent arising theory become neglected a little bit, not that strongly, but neglected away. And then this is my suspicion. I'm just giving you a guideline. I don't mean this is a true or what, but just a guideline. It's possible, something going on. And that's why then the Buddhism lost the debate even in the late century, I mean like from 8th century. There was few cases they have debate with a few of the very great Hindu, when in those days they don't call Hindu, that's the religion there. Brahmin. And then, the Brahmin, or what we usually call Brahmanism. So, and then, anyway, okay. So then you have a clear idea. But of course, because you're in America, might be that, and that's the reason why even in American people, when they study Buddhism, sometimes they get confused with the theory of the Hindu theory of karma. Now you talk about, we're back to the similarity. They also talk about suffering, they also talk about the karma, they also talk about mantra, they also talk about many similar things. And then that's people, if they are having this, they get confused with this too, right? They always get confused. And of course, but you must also understand one other thing for those people who have some experience about Indian. Actually, Indian also, even within the Indian theory of the religion, they do have their own different school already, right? Then, but they do share the common thing. I said that. What is that? They share the common thing because they believe in self, Atma, okay? They share the common thing because they believe in there's a creator God, okay? Right, that's the name. Only there was certain small one, they don't share the common thing, like the Jainism. Do they believe in the self? Anyone? No, you don't, okay? No. Yes and no. Neither, nor, yes. Jainism is in between. Jainism is not believing in the self or not denying the self, okay?
Maybe they're right.
I'm not here to talk about right and wrong.
I'm just kidding.
But,
Silk.
huh?
Silk.
What?
There's one.
The Sikh religion, no, the Sikh religion is more like, actually more like, it's a combination of Hinduism and the Muslim.
Muslim?
Sikh religion is a combination of the two. Yeah.
I want to say something about, I think that yogi, from the teaching, I feel that between self and non-self, they have a concept about non-self. But they do not understand no self like Buddha does. But they attach to form, whether it's formless and form realm. I feel that way.
No, but you have to understand you're talking this because, as I said, that this is a modern yogi and they were influenced by Buddhism. In earlier time, you had to read Sanskrit, read back to their old. Yeah, I'm not talking about what you experience now because I also explain many things. I can talk this. It's not about this. I was just wanting to say that the now modern yogi, they also know there's a non-self. Actually, in earlier time, they could not even define what the God is. The God, where the God is. The God is in do they have a form or not form, right? And they never have an idea. Even there's no form means there's a kind of the so-called planet or the sphere called the no form sphere. They don't have that kind of concept. Those are the later concept they have. So, I want to say this, and now of course they know that because Buddhism formulated a so strong theory in the past already, and they knew that they really need to redefine what the Hindu understanding of many things. Okay, if you look at the Veda and Upanishad, which they think the original pure of the Hindu text, never read those things first, then you will know what I'm talking. And actually, even the Vedanta, the one who was just trying to Vedanta means the end of the Veda, the last of the Veda. Because Veda is their original holy text, right? So even the Vedanta don't. But there was a Samkhya school is much more strong. Samkhya school is definitely almost like a Abhidharma. They try to make this Hindu more like Abhidharma system. Yeah, that's then they of course they formulate many theory there. So, but those schools actually came very late after the Buddha passed away. It came very late. Of course, you know, Indian always dated something earlier than they always believed it should be. But anyway, now we should take a little break later. I want to say this just you first because when we study this cause and effect, you have to understand the cause and effect theory definitely is one of the difficult theory, and then but it's also is one of the unique theory that which is different. It's very clear when people believe in cause and effect all the time. I'm not saying here to say the Buddhists in a way mean that because you are what a Buddhist. I don't mean this is what. I just mean if it's in the Buddhist tradition, so when the people really believe in the cause and effect, but then that in other words the cause and effect including the karma theory, including the so-called the cause and result, right? And also including almost like the center of the Buddhist teaching. So if the cause and effect theory being collapsed, you could say that. So then the cold Buddhist theory would collapse. Okay, you could put it this way. The same thing of like if the other religion, if the theory of the God being as a designer being collapsed, then the whole of the religion collapsed too. You know, the same way. Okay, we take a little break because I saw there are so many things that maybe you are so hungry, and then you need something to think for your brain. And take a break, and then we're back here 10 minutes. Okay. Now. All right, from here, we just start 120, page 120, 5x1. We must understand first from these two. I presume you have to read that a little bit already, even though we are going to explain what they are. So in different schools, when I say school, I mean different Buddhist schools, they have different lists of these causes and a different list of the fruit and a different list of the so-called conditions. Now, before we come to the list first, and we must understand, in general, of course, that's presumed by Buddhism already. Everyone understands there's a 12 link of the what we call the cause and conditions, right? In Chinese, called the 12 yin yuan, the 12 link of it. So, what does why this is called the Patitya Samuppada? I mean, the word mean what is meant by the yuan qi, or the word mean cause and condition, or sometimes we translate the cause, sometimes we translate as conditioning, sometimes we translate as the dependent arising, sometimes we translate that as a dependent co-arisings. Well, the main theory of the co-arising and the theory of that is, the main theory is that when this is when when this is there, that is arise, that is there. When this arise and that arise, right? And then when then you have the 此无故彼无，此灭故彼灭. So when that is not arising, or you could say that, then that not arising. When that is ceased and that ceased. So, and that's the very basic theory of this, the cause and conditions, right? But in Abhidharma, in the different schools have different lists. And since we have studied this Saravastivadi Abhidharmas, So when you start to address the issue of the cause and condition, then you will know they will start to address the 6 cause, the 6 conditions. I always confuse the word. The 6 cause, and then the 4 conditions, and then the 5 fruits. Okay. So what is meant by conditions? What is meant by the cause? What is meant by the effect? Maybe just let's say a fruit or the effect. So you know that in the general theory about karma or general theory about the cause and condition is that things must have the cause, and then also things must have the conditions there. If there's no condition given, if condition is not given, cause would not be able to produce the result. Okay? Get it now? So it has to be a conditions given that then the cause have the result to produce a result. When the result being produced, okay, and it can be served as a cause when the condition is given and then they produce the result, right? Yes? Wow, that's difficult again. Repeat. In other words, mean the result is given, even and that result can be served as a cause again, right? And being then the cause again, and however condition has to be given to produce the result again. Okay. Maybe one of the example like we know is like when I get angry, right? I must have the condition for me to let my angry to be continuous to become a result of the angry, right? Anger. And then that result of the anger has to be, can serve as a cause again, right? But then the condition has to be given again to make my anger become another result or the effect of my anger, right? Right? Does it make sense? It's no any different. Not okay. So, but then in order to explain this and to of course, when here we are study, we are not talking meditation, but in meditation it's the same thing. You have to investigate all this how it happens. So that's why I'm not here to address the issue at the moment. We should learn the theory first. The theory in the Sarvastivada is that then there how many conditions are there? I ask you again. 4, right? Even if you don't remember which 4, give me the number 4. And how many cause again? 6. And how many results? 5. Then we know that, okay. Now, before we move that, actually you must understand this is still belong to the conditioned Dharma or the non-conditioned Dharma. I'm asking this question. Condition. Okay, tell me why you think it's a conditioned Dharma, but why it's not a non-conditioned Dharma?
Because there's a condition.
Because it's not Nirvana. It's not Nirvana.
Both question is right. One is because the conditions are there, that's true. And the second you say that because it's not Nirvana. So, okay, if you make the 2 remarks, you will get 100% right. So, because in other words, in the Nibbana, there's a condition there. Okay, condition should not be there. Okay. Now, and with that also, you need to move to look at the passage, which is important. Let me see. Can any one of you go to this page if you have a book? The page, not the page. I mean the paragraph. Paragraph 4.2. Yeah. Very early time you study this. Okay. Okay, you found that paragraph? Okay. In the paragraph 4.2, can you read it? Can all of you read it? 1, 2, 3.
With thought in 5 respects. That is because the both have the same basis, have the same object, have the same mode of activity, are simultaneous, and because each of them has
only one substance.
Yeah, only one substance, and then that's it.
That's it.
Okay, good. Okay,
This is conjunct.
and then look at this 4.4. Okay. 4.4. Read it again.
All these conjoined and disjoint conditionings are collectively named the aggregate of conditioning. Those at the great stage declare the evaluation of the aggregate of conditioning is like the trunk of a banana tree. It's empty.
All right, thank you. Now, look at this 4.2 again, right? He said that what are these? The conjoint conditions are, the conjoint condition of the conjoint conditions. It means the list of the conjoint condition is what we say is the mild concomitant, right? 新所, what we say that the mild concomitants, and then it's here 4.2 explained. These are said the mild concomitant are said to be conjoined. Why? Because it being a pair with thought in the 5 respects. Anyway, what are these 5 respects? They have the same basis, they have the same object, they have the same mode of activities, are simultaneously and you work together, in other words. And the 5 one, because each of them has only one substance. Okay, actually, in Chinese, that means you can understand, it's in a given conjunction only one substance. Okay. So this is actually, this statement, it represents the conditions also. Okay, it represents the conditions. It represents the cause. Sorry, I was wrong. It represents there's a cause here. So we were going to talk, and also you must understand all these conditionings. At least you have to bear into two things first. When you have a statement like this is have the topic to do with the cause and conditions and result. We are going to look at later a little bit more why. 4.4, you must also have the very basic understand. According to from the 4.4, all these conjoint and disjoint conditions are collectively named aggregates of conditions, right? So, right, samskara, skanda. But you look at it thus, the Greek sage declared the agglomeration of the aggregates of conditioning is like the trunk of the banana tree. In other words, this is for the realization part. The realization part means that people want to have to understand this conditioning here. Here the conditioning means the samskara. Okay, everything that has the cause and condition has to be understood at the end is not true. Kind of like a banana tree, because when you look at the banana tree, all appear very like there's a banana tree, and then when you cut it off, and then you find inside is empty. There's no such because it looks very huge, right? But actually inside is empty. That's a very popular simile to describe that. It is perception, but I think it want to describe that even the conditional dharma are just like a trunk of the banana tree. Okay, all right. Then, but the thing it is how you realize it, from what you realize this. It's that what is about the cause and condition, and the teaching is the cause and conditioning. Okay. Let's look at what is the 6 cause first, and then we might have a more. And then you will try to link it. How does it mean? Okay. The one that we know there are 6 causes. I'm sure that you know I presume you know the name already. Okay. And then look at the first one first. The first one is the first one is called this conjoint cause. This word you just read it already before. Just now I asked you to read it. Conjoint. So now look at what does it mean. The thought and in other words, the mind and the mind concomitant, which are mutually conjoined with one another and which apprehend a common object, are named conjoined causes. For example, mind with sensation, and sensation with the feelings, with the ideas, no, sensation with the ideas and so on. So with mind, in each case, the mental dharma cannot be a conjoined cause for itself. In other words, the last word I just want to tell you. The tea water, right? No question, right? Get it now? All right, good. Now back here. So in other words, you must understand. So here I want to give you an example, because the important is that the mind and the mind concomitant, they are mutually together, okay? And then they are able, because according to Abhidharma, you cannot just understand the thing, only just a mind. You will apprehend, you recognize a thing. It has to be the mind and the mind concomitant. 心跟心所, it has to be stay together, right? Right. That's why these two are called the conjoined cause. Okay. Get it now? It's same thing like, you cannot say there's no apprehension, mean the 响应, and then the feeling, sensation, 受应. And you don't say that these two are separate. Okay? Get it now? A question? Yes?
So when we talk about dependent arising, is there dependent arising, is that a part of it? Like,
It is a part of it.
you have a certain thought, and based on the, it's dependent, this arises because of this. There's a dependent connection. The conjoined conditions, you have to, in order for something to arise, you have to think this. Where in order for the tea to exist, you have to order, so there's a dependency between the two things, or the three things, whether it's tea and it's the cup, being in the cup of tea.
Let me see how do I explain this. Maybe, it's very hard to digest that way.
You said yes. Why did you say yes when I first asked?
No, because you say that it's because I say yes is because you say that it had to do with dependent arising. But yes,
In what way?
that's why I say it, because in all the way. But it's just only how you understand that what the dependent arising is. That certainly have to do with the dependent arising. For example, when I drink a tea, okay, when I drink the tea, and I know this is a tea, right, and because my mind is there, right, and then my mind concomitant, basically I must have this like attention and then focus and all sort of thing. That's what we learned in the previous chapter. That means the mind concomitant. The mind concomitant has to be there, right? So that is then that's actually what is my condition? Okay, this we didn't learn it yet. The condition is the condition is my object, alambana. My condition will be the object. So because I have the object as my condition, so I'm able to with my cause. My cause is my mind and my concomitant. Okay, and then the condition is the object. Then object to me, this condition what is this object? The object is the water, the tea water. Okay, right. Now, if you understand this, this is how the Abhidharma way look at it. But when you put it in a more, you could say that in a simple scale, maybe a sophisticated scale, depending how you look at it. So you can explain it's because that when my mind, right, my mind, that is in the dependent arising means when my consciousness, because due to the consciousness, there's a 5 aggregates, right? Because the 5 aggregates, there's the 6 senses. Due to the 6 senses, and then you have the contact, right? Due to the tangible contact, then you have the feelings. From the feelings, you have the craving, right? But this is happen not in the serious as what we are talking in language, it's immediately, right? When that immediately comes about, so that's easier. That's we know that that's because of consciousness and has to do with the all feelings, right? Now, nobody have question about this, right?
That's
but
what it means in 4.2, that it all happens with
yeah,
only one substance.
yeah, only one substance. Yeah, but then in Abhidharma, the consciousness there, what I just mentioned, the consciousness and the 5 aggregates, has to be understood as the what we call the conjoined cause, because the conjoined cause is not just the consciousness, but also with the mind concomitant. Okay. All right. Yeah. And also the second, what we say about there's 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregate is the feelings, the sensation, the formation, and that also has to understand is a conjoined cause, because you don't take that the 5 aggregates as the 5 separate aggregates, but they are all stay conjoined together, right? Okay, right? Okay. Then the question would be what is the condition? Then I just said already. One of the condition is the alambana condition, means that the object as a condition. Okay. Okay, clear now. So right. Now back to the second. So we understand that's been defined actually means as the conjoined cause. Okay, because they will they conjoin together and then they have the same object. Okay. In other words, you could say they apprehend the same object, whatever, common object. And then now the second one is called the condition. Second one is called this coexistent cause, which is actually the huge thing later on in the whole Sarvastivada influence, like Mahayana Buddhism also. They always use this term. Okay, in Chinese it's called what is called 具有 因. It's a huge thing. And this is the so-called translated as a coexistent cause are the fruit of one another, which are the fruit of one another, or which together bring about common fruit, are named coexistent causes. So, for example, the Mahabuddhas, the conditioned Dhamma, which are characterized, and the 4 conditioned characteristics, the thought and the thought accompaniment. These are in case called anyway. Maybe I think it's good to look at there's a footnote 341. I remember it's a good yeah. On the page 197, okay. Here, according to Abhidharma Kosa, don't tell me what you don't know what is Abhidharma Kosa. Anyone? Okay. So according to the Abhidharma Kosa, explain that what does mean by the 具有, mean the sahabu. It means being mutually fruit of one another. Okay. While also recognizing the meaning of together bringing about common fruit as part of the definition. Okay. So basically, he wants to say the other text does not seem to give the former meanings explicitly. Okay, look at it. What it is the Nyaya Anusara said. He say the question, what is this swabhava or sahabu hedu? So anyway, what is the intrinsic nature of the coexistent cause? The answer, all the formations. Get it now? So you have to understand when you say what is the intrinsic nature, what is really all the time exists nature. It never change. all the time existent nature of this so-called the coexistent cause. But the answer will be all these the formation, or all what we translate something called conditionings, or all the formations, factors. Okay. Hello, I get it now. And then the second question: what is the meaning of this mean by the coexistence? The answer is the coexistence means not coexistence means not mutually apart. It means they stay together. In other words, together bringing about a common fruit, mutually according with each other. This coexistent cause is definitely to be found in the 3 periods of time and produce the Purusha Karapara, means I forgot to translate. It mean in Chinese called 适用果, mean the effect produced by the persons. Okay. So okay, look at the next example. We're back to the page 121, right? 5x 1.2.1, page 121. So on the third paragraph say, the distinction between the conjoined cause and the coexistent cause, because they were very similar, right? So 一个是相应，一个是具有. They are very similar. So one is that belong to this the coexistence. One is belong to translate how as the conjoined, right? They are very similar. So and one is the distinction between the two, and the next one explained that is can be illustrated by the example of the caravan of the merchants. The merchant, by rendering mutual assistance to one another, like the mind and the mind association, right? The mind concomitant, are able to pass through the risky road. They help to each other. So that's why they might have many dangerous places. Nobody can mess around with them because they help each other. They pass the road. This is the coexistent cause. In other words, because that's how they stay together. Okay. They stay together. They consume the same food and drink, but they take the same fruit and drink. So that's why they call as the conjoined. As they will be what do you call? They are correspondent to each other. Okay, that's why sometimes here they translate as conjoined cause, conjoined together. Okay. Hello.
So this example is both.
Maybe it may be easier to understand is when you say that they are coexistent cause. I think the next one they did made it statement there. Okay, look at the next one. So we're still explain what is meant by the conjoined. Okay, what is meant by this 具有, why they stay together. Okay, conjoined. No, I mean conjoined. No. Why they coexistent? Why they stay together? Coexistence. The mind accompaniment comprises the mind concomitant, the dhyana restraint, the outflow free restraint, and the conditions characteristic. Let me just look at it. They are so named because they belong to the same period of time as the mind. They arise, they stay, they cease together with the mind. And they have the same fruit, they have the same uniform emanation, they have the same retribution, they are, let's say, the wholesome, either unwholesome or non-defined, according as the moral nature of the mind with which they accompany. For these 10 reasons, they are called the mind accompaniment. Why did suddenly have made some 3, 4, 3? Let me see. My accompaniment. I think there's something not. Yeah, but that one we know that already, right? But this is that statement actually was talk about the jitta anuvarting. Okay. because of 4.13 say that there are 4 conditions and the mind concomitant, mind accompaniment. These are in case to equation for another.
There's a bit of a big bone where the complements comprise.
If you look at 5.1.2, it helps.
No, I think that's only to say about how this might. Actually, in other words, I think let's go. No, it's okay. Let's go to the look for trade first. 343. No. No, it's no. No, maybe easier to understand is that way. When you say this, because sometimes when you read this, it's a little. Anyway, I still had to figure out why he want to jump in that point, because that point just want to say they have the same object and they arise together, they cease together. That is actually very clear for when you say the mind and the mind concomitant. Because when you say the mind and mind concomitant, they have to be like fingers, right? When you say my hand is broken, it has to be you refer to the hand, here refer to the hand and the fingers, okay? So, and that's what he want to explain it that way. When you say my hand is holding this cup, and then you refer to your hand and your fingers holding the cup, So they have to arise and cease. When you say my hand disappear, my hand has gone, you refer to your hand, you mean your palm, okay? Say the hand is mean the palm, or abstract kind of like a hand. So you refer to that when you say that my hand was being cut off, it means your hands and your fingers being cut off, right? Okay. So, and I think that's what he want to say this way. But I think maybe easier to just say, when you say that there's a, what does mean by this, the word called this coexistent cause. Because if we call it coexistent because anything that will be the result, anything that result will comes to them, they will stay together. It's called a coexistence.
So is one the apprehension of that? Because in 5.1.1 it talks about that the mind concomitants, which are mutually conjoined
with one another, yeah.
With one another, and they apprehend a common object together. And the coexistence speaks to the resultant, the fruit, in 5.1.2.
No, it want to.
What's the difference? One is the getting of it, and one is.
One is almost functioning. What is when they're working, they were both getting the same thing. That's what it means by the. Does it mean by the core? What do you call it? The coexistence. They were like they were helping each other. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, and then also the reason why he want to say there's a the mind concomitant, because you have to that has to do that when you say they cooperate together. When they cooperate together, you have to understand, because we must understand this has to be talked about the cognizing, understanding, right? The mind. So like the last chapter, the previous one, we say the category of consciousness. If we know consciousness, not to talk about. So when you say this, and then you must also know that it's operating within the mind. But what is operating within the mind as a cause is what we call the coexistent condition, the cause. Okay, and they're including the mind concomitant and including the jhana. Okay, and also including this any object, basically any object you are perceiving. Okay. Get it now? That's the reason why he want to say the the concomitant here must understand like when they're wholesome and unwholesome, and then or even they're non-defined. So and then they all will share the same result. Okay, say that if that's why I say like a hand. When I say the hand and my finger as a cause, it means my hand and my finger, they are actually mutually they get the same result, right? That's what we say the first one, conjoined cause. Okay, and then when you say that there's a coexistent cause, it means my hand and when I say there's a hand, you have to understand there must be also they are working together with my fingers. Okay, that means working together with my my concomitant. And when you say that my hand is very very powerful, and then that you also understand it's conjoined as a coexistent cause. As a cause, why I can grab this up? Okay, why I can put my cups up, and then I have a very strong jhana, for example, and then I have a very strong grips, you know, and also, but you could say that is the good thing I doing. That's wholesome, and that include everything. I mean my grips and then my what. But when you say that there's a function, they're mutually helping, and then so that I can grasp a cup. Okay. I think it's more like a functionality component. That is as a cause. Okay. I think they should have some. I guess I should. Okay. What time is it now? Oh, nobody. You should give me the hint next time. So next time should give me the hint because I didn't know that.
So there's the function coexistent cause is action activities.
Yeah, do a transfer Mary first. Yeah. Add to conference, man. Add to conference.
Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahittvika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahittvika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahittvika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mang parang.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
You have to say T. Without T, how do we know you're ending? Cirang mamparang. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So you think about what is a coexistent cause and what is the
I was still thinking about the Buddhist thing.